Bet I'm not on mute. Bear with me as I've had a couple technical issues this morning, but I do believe we're live. I think we are rocking and rolling. My name is Jamie J. I am the managing director and founder of Bottleneck Virtual Assistants, where we help stop you from being the bottleneck in your business, actually. Today I have an interesting concept that was brought to my attention as an idea from our marketing team. And first, before I go this morning, thank you to Raina, Wes, Karen, Paolo, Christine, Sherwin, and Roanne. We had a great meeting this morning. I wrote everything down, so I made sure I did not forget it. Today's topic is an interesting one. I'm going to be talking about the essentials to establishing a happy company culture. As you all know, I have a podcast called Culture Eats Strategy, inspired by the late, great Peter Drucker, and brought to my attention by the legendary Christopher Lochhead. And I absolutely love learning about culture, not only in business, but in life as well. We do not believe in a work-life balance here. At least I don't believe in a work-life balance. I believe in a life balance. I believe you need to balance your entire life, and life revolves around personal and professional things, because you have to earn in order to live, but you don't want to work to live. You want to live to work, or vice versa. Yeah, vice versa. I am excited to talk about this because it is something I'm incredibly passionate about. And if you want to learn more about what Bottleneck can do for your business as far as hiring virtual assistants, or if you want to get hired and find a job, then by all means, reach out to us. You can learn more by going to bottleneck.online. If you're in the medical realm, and you are looking for either a virtual medical scribe, which Dr. Loreno coins as the bane of his existence, and you're looking for a solution for progress notes, charting, all that stuff that you have to comply with all the paperwork and all of that stuff, we can help you. If you're looking for prior authorizations or insurance and eligibility benefits, go to bottleneckmedical.com and you can learn more there. And soon, thanks to shout out to a really cool special individual, Jonathan Rankin. We're going to be partnering up to launch the wonderful bottleneckrealestate.com. We're going to be helping out the real estate professionals with all kinds of cool stuff. So let me get that out of the way now. And I'm going to be talking to you today about creating a good company culture. And here, some of the things that we'll be talking about today are going to be some simple ways that you can cultivate kind of a happy environment if that's what you're going for. Now, I understand, please bear with me, I understand culture can mean different things for different industries. On Wall Street, it's not necessarily going to be all feel-good, beanbaggy type of a culture, but there still needs to be maintained culture. Culture, in my opinion, is the way a company behaves and communicates that behavior. And I think it starts from the top. And I think it's not a top-down effect, but in my personal opinion, I wanted to have an organization that was kind. Hashtag lead with kindness. That's me. That's how I like leading. And I'm first going to tell you a little bit about my experience, and then I'm going to go into some different ways that you can use to maybe create a happier workforce, or create a happy environment, or create a workplace remotely or brick and mortar, that people that are working, the staff that are coming in there, want to be there and want to help. And I'm going to share a little bit about some different ideas. Thanks to Christine for sharing some amazing articles, and I'll definitely reference the people that wrote these articles. They did a really good job. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Jaime and how I envisioned Bottleneck to be ran. Now, at the risk of sounding a little, I'll just say it, I'm a pretty nice fella. Confrontation is not something I look forward to. I can deal with it. but leadership is an ongoing challenge for me. One of the things I really pride myself on, I was absolutely adamant this morning that I was going to talk to my marketing team before I hopped in this call to make sure that I wasn't talking about how to have a good company culture without first addressing this concern with them. And it was really neat. One of the biggest things that I do is I lead with kindness and I lead with integrity. One of the bad things I do is, as our COO, Anthony, puts it, I have more of a Socratic leadership style, meaning it's hard for me to give ultimate direction. I tend to ask questions and look for responses. And so one of the things that I really like about the culture that I've established here is we've hired amazing people that are kind and happy in their own right. And that's one of the things that we look for before we even start to hire, which is one of the other things that I'll talk about later. But I also wanted to present a platform that our staff, should they have a concern with me or something that's going on, they shouldn't feel afraid to say, hey, Jaime, I think you need to be more direct to us. I think you need to clarify once you give us direction. Sherwin, our web developer, brought this up, and he said, Jaime, you give me direction all the time, but I'm not sure I totally understood it. And so I need to clarify, hey, if I give you directive, do you understand what you're supposed to be doing? And if they say yes, say, okay, let me know what you are going to be doing based on the conversation that we had. So he wants me to add clarification, which now I will do to avoid any kind of miscommunication. And I think this is really powerful. And I'm so blessed to have a company in which, and staff in which they feel okay and comfortable sharing with me what their feelings are and challenging me if I need to be challenged. And if you are a really good leader, you'll have some form or some platform in order for this to happen. Because I can tell you this, I love leading. I'm always learning. And I'm not the best leader in the world, self-admitted, because I don't know everything. But as long as we have room to improve the communication and to allow for new ideas that aren't from me, that are from the staff and the team, and to be able to give them a platform to feel comfortable in communicating that to me, I think we're on the right track. And so, in my opinion, I think we do have a happy culture. And I really enjoy working with the team. Now, in order to avoid confusion, it does rest on my shoulders. The buck stops with me. I ultimately make all the decisions, and I'm responsible for all the decision within our company. However, if I offer direction and then follow up with clarification, and this was pointed out by Roanne, so thank you, Roanne. It's really important that staff ask questions. It can't be all me. If someone doesn't understand something and perhaps the clarification that is unclear, they really need to ask questions. And there's a lot of times I don't know what I don't know, so I may not know what questions to ask. I want to run an awesome company, but I cannot be an expert in analytics. I cannot be an expert in social media. I cannot be an expert in web development. I can't do that. What I can do is I can build a culture and an organization that embraces growth, change, behavior, happiness, and trust. I think as long as I'm doing that, I'm fulfilling what it is that I need to do in my position. And if you don't know, my word for this year is listen. Listen intentfully and soulfully to engage notably. I want to listen, not to reply, but listen so that I can learn. And thank you to Miha Matlievsky for sharing his wisdom with me on one of the episodes that will be airing soon on Cultivate Strategy. Like that, how I threw that in there. Okay, so I want to go over a couple of different strategies for you here that you can use to, simplify or cultivate a happier workplace. And this article was done by a monster business coach, Cheryl Stein. And again, thanks to Christine and Raina, my assistant, for bringing this to my attention. One of the things that they say is hire happy personalities. So when you're first going out and looking for interview styles, you want to hire somebody that just enjoys life, has a good time, that will actually bring happiness into the workplace. And oftentimes as leaders, it can get a little lonely as an entrepreneur or a manager. And so it's always nice to have those smiles and the positivity there. Another thing is that Cheryl says is be community minded at work and make a point of encouraging people to say hi to each other. I love that. Just this morning, it was really neat while we were having our marketing meeting. Roanne commended the web developers for really giving them some great feedback. And so from an interview earlier on my podcast, I learned about gratitude tokens. So Roanne was gifted the gratitude token today for bringing up something that someone else on the team did in order to improve that particular process or solve a problem, something like that. So it creates a good sense of community. Another thing is get out of the work routine occasionally. Well, what does that mean? Well, a couple of weeks ago, we identified some errors, or maybe not some errors, but some areas that I was having a hard time to equate an ROI to, a return on investment. And so I presented this challenge to the team, and I identified an issue, and I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. And I came up with a simple 3-step plan for each of us to follow. It was right before the 4th of July weekend, which is a 4-day weekend for us. And I said, we needed to do 3 things. Number 1, we need to step back, take a breath. Number 2, we need to identify what that challenge was. And number 3, we needed to simplify that process. And I wanted everybody to take the weekend, take the long weekend, take a break, don't do any work, don't think about work, go have fun, go jump in the ocean, go travel, go do whatever it is that you want to do. Just get work out of your head. And Sunday, start kind of thinking about the day before we come back to work, on some of the things that we might be able to do to rectify this issue. So number 1, take a step back. Number 2, evaluate what's going on. Analyze, I think is the word I used. Analyze the situation. And then after you analyze it and figure out what's going on, simplify the process. By taking that break and stepping back, I think that really helps kind of rejuvenate and clear the mind, if you will. And today during our meeting, I was presented with a full-scaled action plan, which was very impressive. So again, hats off to everyone on the marketing call this morning. That was amazing. Another thing that you want to do is show that you care about your staff. When our staff has birthdays, we sing happy birthday right during our meetings. It's terrible, but we have a lot of fun and we laugh. And if there's anything I can do, I am there to help and support the staff, just in the same way that they're there to help me, or there to help each other. What I thought was really cool too is hearing about different times when the staff goes and meets up off-site, out of work, and they just go to have fun and be together. I really do care. One of the things that Cheryl brought up here that shows that you care about your staff, she says, have you ever heard about the Hawthorne effect? The Hawthorne effect, it helps to increase the productivity in the workplace when people feel that they are cared about. It makes people happy to be asked how they are, and for you to take time, for you, the leader, the manager, the entrepreneur, to take a little time to find out how things are going in their lives. There's absolutely nothing wrong with bringing in a little bit of personal life into the workplace. It doesn't mean spending a lot of time, hanging out by the water cooler, so to speak, doing stuff like that. But it's just the little bits and pieces of taking the time to ask, how are you? And be intentional. Listen, right? Listen intentfully and soulfully to engage notably. Listen to learn. Don't listen to reply. Thanks again, Miha. And then another thing that she says is encourage some selfish thinking, right? Part of the secret of being happy at work is to encourage people to have personal career goals. When people feel that they are working towards something, they're a lot more likely to achieve those goals. And the day-to-day politics and stresses of the workplace doesn't matter as much. Each challenging day can be better tolerated because it means it provides a means to the personal end. And people are able to separate themselves not only from their jobs, but not become mired in the negativity when they're focusing on reaching goals. I really like that one. So encourage some selfish thinking. Another one that she talks about is focus on the positive. Why dwell on the negative? What good can possibly come from that? That's why when we talk about our challenges, we try to identify what didn't work and how we can fix that. I think it's really, really helpful when we do this. It definitely doesn't mean to ignore things that need to be improved on. Mike Michalowicz, the author of Profit First and Clockwork, had a great strategy for this. He leads through kindness, and he's very jovial in his approach, and he's incredibly successful. But when he walks into the office, his staff doesn't say, "Oh crap, the boss is here." They're like, "Hey, Mike, how's it going? High fives." And he has a blast. It's just amazing, the environment and the culture that he's created. And I said, "Okay, Mike, but there has to be a line. Like, you can't always be that joke. Business has to get done." And he told me something that was amazing. What he said was, he said, so I said, "What do you do if someone is joking around or something like that about maybe a cat video or something online, and you really need to get some work done and a certain thing focused? What do you do?" He goes, "Oh, you know what? All I do is this. So if I'm talking about a certain objective or directive in a direction in which we need to go, and someone chimes in with something that's kind of colorful but off topic, I'll say, let's go ahead and offline that for now, and we really need to focus on this." I thought that was amazing. By offlining something, you're not talking down to something, but you're diffusing a direction that is not needed to go in that time, and establishes people to focus on the correct direction. I absolutely love that, and thank you so much, Mike, for sharing that with me. I love that. One of the other things that Cheryl talks about is giving back with your employees. Do something to give back to the community or to the world. Having a company-wide initiative that makes a difference will make people feel connected to the greater good. Take a poll. Find out what people care about and get their opinions on how to best accomplish those goals. You know what we do here at Bottleneck? We have an initiative called the Ripple Effect. The ripple effect, obviously, the ripples, you throw a stone into the water, you see it actually makes the ripples in the water. It's the same thing in life for me. I want to be able to provide much more than just for myself. I want to be able to create a ripple effect, create a company, create a foundation that establishes a way for others to live, that creates a positive impact, therefore creating a ripple effect. And I want everybody that's involved with Bottleneck in this company to create their own ripple effects. Christine is an amazing, talented violinist, and she plays in the Manila Symphony, I believe, Manila Symphony or orchestra. Amazing, amazing talent. Her ripple effect, while she does a fantastic job as our social media manager, is to continue her love for music with children. She loves teaching children the art of music and creating communication through music. And I just think that's beautiful. And I love for everybody to have their own ripple effect. That's something that we can give back to them by them working really hard, earning a decent income. They're able to now provide not only for themselves, but continue that gift of happiness and kindness, of distributing that gift of happy and kindness to a lot more people. So to recap, hire happy personalities, be community minded at work, get out of the work routine occasionally, show that you care about your employees, encourage some selfish thinking, focus on the positive, and give back to your employees. And again, this was an article written by Cheryl Stein. She's a monster business coach. And the title of this is 7 Simple Ways to Cultivate a Happy Workplace. So again, thank you for the team for bringing this article to my attention. There's a couple other articles you can check out. 5 Ways to Ensure a Happier Workforce. Is written by Jeremy Goldman on Inc.com. And then, of course, 5 company culture hacks for a happier workforce, I'm sorry, by Ilya Pozin, again on Inc. And I'll go ahead and post those links here in the notes down below, the comments down below. My name is Jaime J. I am the managing director and founder of Bottleneck Virtual Assistants. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out to me, because I'd love to help you stop the bottleneck in your business. Again, Jaime J., Bottleneck Virtual Assistants. You can locate us by going to bottleneck.online. And thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that discovering the essentials of a happier workforce, company culture, I hope this video has been helpful to you today. So thank you so much, and have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.